Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Life Redesigned. My name is Bob.
I'm Carrie.
And today, Carrie, we are full in camping season. And with that comes all the criticisms and all the things that people don't like and do like. And well, today is no different, because today we're giving you a breakdown, coming to you with a list of things that we've spoken to campers about, asking, well, RV park owners and management to take notice, because these are some changes we'd like to see made.
Mm-hmm.
All right, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, Carrie and I sold everything that we owned in 2022, and we hit the road full time. And full time means that we have nothing in friend's house, nothing in storage units, nothing hiding in the woods. In fact, we have nothing but what we carry in our Grand Design Imagine, period.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That's
what
all.
Year?
It's a 2023.
What's the model?
It's a 22 MLE. And she tries to get me with it every single time. We enjoy this lifestyle, and with this comes a great sense of travel. And we have seen a lot of different things, and we've met a lot of different people. But it always comes down to about 10 or so things that we hear over and over again that we wish this RV park would do differently, so on and so forth. So today we're bringing that list to you, and if you happen to manage a RV park, you might want to take this
Jot
and
some things down.
take some notes here. Starting with number one, which we see quite often, and we've personally run into this.
Adjust your hours.
Yeah,
please.
Please. And there's a lot of RV parks, believe it or not, that don't even have office hours on the weekends, and that's the majority of when their traffic is in and out. I've said this before, time and time again, back when we were in a sticks and bricks, that if you operate your business and it's only during business hours, you're missing out about 90% of your business, because most people work during, well, business hours. And RVs, parks are no different. If you work 10 to 3 and the majority of your people come in at 5 o'clock on a Friday, you're missing those people coming in, and those people probably want to know about what services you provide and which ways they can actually spend more money with you.
Yeah.
So it's probably worth your while to, well, keep it open a little bit.
Yeah.
So number two.
Actually check the sites.
Yeah, this is one that comes up quite a bit, is that especially when, and we'll use Alabama State Parks as a perfect reference of where you can't check in until 4 and check out is at 11 a.m. That gives 5 hours for them to review the sites, and well, no one's checking the sites. We found everything inside the fire pits, from beer bottles to twist offs to, well, crap bags, or as we've called these before, you know, leaving shit bags everywhere. That's all over the site. Trash. We prefer to leave every site better than we found it. However, it can be discouraging when you're paying in some of these parks $150, $200 a night. Nothing makes a vacation start badly than walking through Uncle Louie's 3 cartons of Pall Malls on the ground, because, well, we do know that Uncle Louie likes to chain smoke.
Well,
the other thing, especially as we travel through the Encore system through our 1,000 Trails membership, we see this time and time again, is maybe you want to consider grouping your residents, and this pertains a lot to full-timers. You might want to consider moving sections around. I know, in fact, we stayed at Terra Serra, which is an Encore park, and we basically camped in someone's driveway. It's not a great experience. Welcoming. It's not very welcoming, and in fact, it discourages a lot of people from returning. By having your park split for full-time use on one side and travel people like us on the other side, you may open up a whole group of people that want to return, because a lot of these places are in great neighborhoods. Terra Serra, a perfect example of a great location, bad execution. And yeah, that could be a big change.
Yep.
Number 4, I believe we're up to, is stop.
Politics.
Yeah, stop with the politics. Ban it. We've seen a few places take this and do this, and basically, not only is it our side, our opinion, it should be done more often. And again, we say this because most of this political flags and signage is on the side that we lean, but it really is alienating if you don't believe in that set of politics. And the last thing, if someone's camping and on their vacation or traveling or whatever, is wants to be reminded of how divisive a world we can live in. Leave the politics for out back when you're having a couple of beers with your buddies, but don't put them out in your front lawn. In fact, Terracera was one that
Oh,
was
my
probably,
word.
yeah, this was a very hardcore Republican leading crowd.
Yeah.
And again, we have no problems with their political stance. We just didn't really needed to be reminded of it every time we went outside. Number 5, and that goes right in line with banning certain things, is enforce the rules. Some of these parks have a rule list that's like, long, and but they never get enforced.
No.
If you're going to have a rule set, and some of these can be pretty rough, but if you're going to have a rule set, enforce them. If you're going to say that your kids can't ride golf carts through the RV park at 100 miles an hour, enforce it, or else they're going to continue to do it, because what's the expression? Well, the cat's away, the mice will play, and that happens
A lot.
quite a bit.
Ooh, this is Penelope's favorite.
Penelope is a big stickler for this, and this one here, Carrie.
Quiet hours.
Okay, now quiet hours. We've seen some of these quiet hours end at 6 a.m. Oh my goodness! And at
Yeah.
the same time, we've seen them as late as midnight. You may want to think that by quiet hours, I mean no more partying. It's time to go inside, kind of wind things down. Now, keep in mind that while you might be having a great vacation and enjoying your time, the parks need to enforce this, because, well, not everybody's on vacation. There's a lot of us that are working from the road full time, and I can't go to bed at 1 in the morning because, well, somebody else decided to tie one on and play Jimmy Buffett till 3 a.m. Sometimes I like that, though. And number 7 is one that I preach quite a bit, and that's about adjusting to the changing market. And what that means is that essentially a lot of these parks are older and they've been established for quite some time. That being said, back in the 70s, you didn't have 40-foot fifth wheels coming through here with 3 bathrooms and 2 septic outlets and whatever. And we see this time and time again with new sites being built and developed that they're still catering to the average 20 to 30 footer, and that's it. You might want to think about making them a little longer to accommodate today's vehicles and today's RVs.
Yeah.
Widen your roads a little bit, especially on these newer facilities being built. So something to keep in mind there. And as I lose the page, number 8 is
Another
number 8.
Penelope's favorite.
Number 8 could stop the amount of words on Yelp and TripAdvisor probably down 90%. Just simply be honest. If you have labeled your place an RV resort and there's nothing that's a resort about it, be honest. Put pictures up that are factual and showing exactly what you have to offer. Now, we do RV park reviews all the time, and we'll expose you, that's fine. But at the same time, nothing hurts more than pulling up and thinking that you just spent your hard-earned money, especially if you're not part of like a 1,000 Trails membership, to pull up to an RV resort and find out that you're really just in someone's backyard.
We see the faces and the
disappointments.
oh no moments.
And I don't want to keep hopping on
No.
Terracea with these series of videos, but we happen to be at a RV resort, and we were right at the stop sign where people pulled in, and well, you could see the disappointment on their face when they pulled up to that stop sign. And we're like, what did we get ourselves into? And that's how you, by being honest and keeping it real, that's how you get repeat business.
There you go.
And number 9 is state the obvious. So if you offer propane, let people know how to get it. If you have a gym on site, you might want to let people know that they can get to it. If you have a pool, well, sometimes you might want to let people know where it is. These are certain things that, every time we pull into a new RV resort, and a lot of this is just us traveling full time. Every place is different. We can see the propane tank out front. We'd like to know that you fill propane tanks. We've been here at this particular resort for about 2 weeks, and we just found out about a week and 3 days in that they have a gym. We didn't know that.
And you can say, go to the office and ask, okay, I get that, but when he's working until 5 o'clock, they close at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, anybody
and you
saying
can't
that.
call because it just redirects you somewhere else.
So
that's a problem.
Basically, seed number 1,
Right.
adjust your hours.
Exactly.
But yeah, just be, state the obvious, because everybody coming through doesn't work here, doesn't come here all the time, and they'd like to know what you have to offer. And again, these are little things that you can make more money on as an RV park owner, because sometimes I would get propane on site if I knew how to get it. and I don't want to have to chase it down. It's just easier to go to
Yeah.
Home Depot and swap one out, or go to
Exactly.
Costco and have them fill it up for 11 bucks. So number 10,
Absolutely.
now this one here is, as a former smoker, I can say that, yeah, a few years ago, if someone said this one, I would have flipped, but now I get it. Number 10 is simply ban smoking already. It's 2023. I don't think anybody is going to come out and say at this particular point that smoking is good for you, both as a primary smoker or as a second-hand smoke recipient. I think it's time that we've stated that enough with the smoking. It's a, you know, what do they call that? An archaic device. Move on. Nothing ruins the outdoor experience. Again, like Uncle Louie's 20 cartons of Pall Malls over the
Stink
weekend.
up nature. You got a problem.
Yeah, and I'll
Sorry.
tell you, one of our favorite things is to go for a walk. Carrie and I walk about 5 miles every day. So if you see us out and about in an RV park, say hi. Don't get too close, but say hi. And one of my favorite things that have happened, and I say that sarcastically, is a drive-by smoking. I get covered in cigarette smoke at least every walk, and yeah, it's not good. So that was it. Hopefully you enjoyed this lighthearted look at RV life, and if you are an RV park owner, and
There you go. Save the arm.
apparently I talk with my hands. If you are an RV park owner, management, or a camp host, take this with a grain of salt. This is what your park people in your RV is, your clientele are asking you to do, and make it all better for everybody. Until next time, I am Bob.
I'm Carrie.
And this has been Life Redesigned.